Welcome back to the Upper Echelon Podcast, where we keep it real and we keep it jiggy over here. Cause why? Cause we ain't never ever scared. Let's talk about a couple things today, y'all. I got a few things on the roster. Make sure that you hit the like on your way in, and also make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of the next time that I do a live stream. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I'm almost at 4K. I'm excited. My channel's been growing pretty slow, but that's because I have not really been so consistent. I don't post like I should, so on and so forth. But I'm proud of the progress that my channel is making, okay? But it is so many things to talk about, y'all. We got the situation with Tyler Perry, Fat Joe. I might touch on, you said, am I streaming from another page? Am I streaming from another page? No, I don't think so. I'm just streaming from this one. Um, I might touch on the R. Kelly situation. I don't know, but we just gonna sit and have some conversation. So as you guys know, before we get into the entertainment news, I do want to talk about the situation with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has injected himself into the conflict between Iran and Israel. It's so much going on in the world, you guys, that I know that I do like to do my entertainment. I do like to do my La Truth saga, but we got to talk about this. We have to start talking a little bit more, whether or not I get the views or not. We do have to start talking a little bit more about things that affect us in the world, okay? Because entertainment, news, is cool sometimes for the most part, but we're gonna incorporate a little bit of this what's into the content. I was just reading up on it. Let me pull this up really quick, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on with this war in Iran and Israel, y'all. Let me make sure that okay. And then after that, we're gonna get into what's going on with Tyler Perry, okay? Because I have an opinion about that. Let me see. Let me change. Okay. Now, I understand that there are not a lot of people that are really into politics and stuff like that. But hey, we live in the United States. We got to know what's going on, right? But before we get into what Donald Trump is saying, again, my favorite thing to do is to try to educate my audience, because I don't assume that everybody knows everything that I'm talking about. Because sometimes I go on people's chats and I'm like, okay, I hear the topic, but how did this start? What happened? So before we get into what's going on with Donald Trump raging war on Iran, I want to talk a little bit about the history. So now Iran and Israel have a historical beef, right? So they've been beefing and they've had tensions for a very, very long time. So what I want to do, let's see, where is it? Okay. Is read a little bit of the backstory between Iran and Israel, and first of all, why they are going back and forth and why they're at war. Then I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to play a little bit of what Donald Trump had to say and why the U.S. is inserting themselves in that conflict. So it says on MicrosoftBing.com, the conflict between Iran and Israel is rooted in historical animosities, ideological differences, and recent military escalations. In layman's terms, okay, Iran is working on weapons of mass destruction, okay, and they've almost achieved their goal in that creation, according to the U.S. and Israel. So Israel and the U.S. are trying to stop Iran from doing whatever it is that they believe they're going to do with this nuclear this nuclear device. Okay, so let me get into the historical context. So it says on Bing.com that the relationship between Iran and Israel was not always adversarial, but before 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran under Shah maintained diplomatic and economic ties with Israel. However, the revolution led to the establishment of a theocratic regime that vehemently opposed Israel, labeling it a Zionist entity. Since then, Iran has adopted a foreign policy that includes supporting groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, which are considered terrorist organizations by Israel. So in recent escalations, the current conflict has intensified due to a series of military actions and retaliations. In June of 2025, now, Israel launched a significant military operation targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, which it claims poses an existential threat. This operation, known as Operation Rising Lion, involved airstrikes and reportedly unalived numerous Iranian military personnel and scientists. In response, Iran has launched missile attacks against Israel, marking a significant escalation in hostilities. Okay, so some of the key factors. Hey, everybody coming in the room. Hey, Terry. Hey, Beverly. No more drama. Nina, Dreamy Girl, Josephine, Raquel, Candy Kisses, Robin Lotz. Oh, I don't know why Siri is talking to me. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Hey, I'm Chosen. Hey, Michelle. Caramel Cutie. Okay. So the key factors in the conflict is nuclear ambitions. Israel perceives Iran's nuclear program as a direct threat to its existence. The International Atomic Energy Agency, which is called the IAEA, has reported that Iran is enriching uranium beyond civilian needs, raising concerns about potential weaponization. The second key factor in the conflict is the support of militant groups. Iran's backing of militant groups like Hamas and Hezbollah has further strained retaliations. These groups have engaged in violent confrontations with Israel, and Iran's support is seen as a means to extend its influence in the regime. The third key factor in the conflict is regional dynamics. The conflict is also influenced by a broader regional tension, including the ongoing war in Gaza and the involvement of other nations. The U.S. has expressed support for Israel's right to defend itself, complicating the landscape. I want to say this. Maybe I'm looking at it from a lens of someone who is not, who hasn't followed politics. I've never really been into politics like that. But what I wonder is, I know that the U.S. has a relationship with Israel, but my question is, why the United States has so many things to focus on within our own country? We have so many things that we need to work on within our own country, and it just boggles my mind. Why is it that we're always inserting ourselves into somebody else's conflict as if we have it all together? We got people out here that can't feed themselves. The cost of living is too low. Eggs $12. You got, it's just so many. The homeless epidemic is going on. Then you got the ICE situation where people are being deported, and it's just too much going on over here for us to be worried about what's going on over there. So if somebody can make that make sense to me, because it doesn't make sense. Cheeto Head is always inserting himself in somebody else's stuff. It's people in the United States who are I'm not talking about, and before I play with Donald Trump, gotta say, what Cheeto Head gotta say, right? I want to say this. You got people in the United States of America who work hard every day just to be able to afford childcare, food, gas, basic things to live. There are people and I'm not talking about people that are on public assistance, even though there are people on public assistance that are on these programs because they need them. There are also a demographic of people that are on public assistance, Section 8 or whatever, and it's generational, and that's just where they want to be. But there are people that are trying to make it in the United States, and it's almost like they've set things up to where no matter how hard you work, you're going to struggle. If you work too hard, you're going to struggle. If you don't do any work and you sit on your butt, then you can collect assist. It's just nothing. The way things are set up in the U.S. doesn't make sense. They have other things to be thinking about. The citizens of the United States are struggling. The citizens of the United States are dealing with homelessness. The people that live here in the United States of America can barely afford to live. There are still states that are getting paid $7 damn an hour and can't provide for themselves and their children. And you worried about what's going on in the third world country, but there's so many, and this not to be dramatic, but honestly, the United States has the luxury of calling everybody else a third world country. But there are people that are living like they're in a third world country when they should not be. You have people who have served this country, veterans who cannot get the benefits that they need. You have veterans that are homeless. There are so many things that the United States needs to be bettering within their own country, within our own country. I just will never understand what's going on, True Slayer. Hey, Lisa Smith, Beverly, Gloria Dent, everybody that came in. I just will never understand why we continue to insert ourselves in other people's crap. Iran and Israel have been having an ongoing feud for decades, years. Why is that our business? I don't know. But let me go ahead and play what Cheeto Head had to say. Here he comes.
We've seen this walk so many times, moments of history, moments of controversy, and today a seismic moment in terms of the Middle East.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raising-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
It's so hard for me to sit here and listen to this BS. I'm gonna tell you why. Coming from, nothing makes sense in the United States. Just nothing. Coming from a city that I come from, and seeing some of the things that I've seen in my lifetime where I'm from. There's war right here in Chicago. There's war in a lot of these inner cities. Violence every day. He talking about violence hundreds of miles away. And you have literal war right here in the United States between neighborhoods. You have racial situations going on. There are why doesn't Cheeto Head utilize his resources to get control of what the problems are here in the United States? Let's talk about some GUN laws. Let's talk about the fact that every time we turn around, we hear about an elementary school or a college kid pew-pewing up the whole damn school. Can we talk about the problems that we're having here in the United States? Can we talk about the fact that we're scared to send our kids to school? Can we talk about the fact that it's become far too easy for these children to be able to get their hands on weapons? Can we talk about that wars are being waged right here in our damn neighborhoods and there's nothing being done about it? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? When are some of they got no? What Tupac say? What did Tupac say? You got money for wars but can't feed the poor. You got all of the resources in the world when you want to bomb somebody, when you want to insert yourself into somebody else's conflict. All of a sudden, all of this money comes out of nowhere. And now we got all the money, all the time, and the resources to insert ourselves in somebody else's conflict. But nothing is being done, and there are no resources being pulled to talk about why these kids are getting their hands on weapons, taking them to schools and pew-pewing up everybody. Can we talk about what we're going to do about that? It's disgusting. It is disgusting. We have other stuff going on. This man done came into office and trying to take care of everything that don't even matter. Okay, then the Hispanics or whatever here illegally, who cares at this point? You know what I'm saying? And okay, maybe there are, I know that that's a controversial topic. And I'll get on that on another live. But the point is this man that came into office and taking care of everything that does not matter. What can we start doing? Can we start doing things that directly benefit our communities? He's so out of touch with what's going on in the world. He's so out of touch. He's in my opinion, Donald Trump is in direct competition with Barack Obama. Barack Obama is not in office anymore, but he's trying to like be the most, memorable or have, because if you remember back when Osama bin Laden was in office, there was this situation going on where he had to make a decision to unalive Osama bin Laden, who was the leader of Al Qaeda at the time. And so it was all over the news. He was talking about how big of a decision it would take. It was taken for him to actually make that decision to go ahead and unalive Osama bin Laden. There was a lot of talk about that. He got a lot of press about that, and that's one of the things that Obama did that was memorable while he was in office. I really feel like Donald Trump is doing things. I feel like he's a complete narcissist. He's not making moves as the president to make this country a better place to live. He's not making the right decisions. He's worried about everything that does not damn matter. Do y'all remember when Obama had to make the decision to unalive Osama bin Laden and he was like in an underground bunker or something? It was all over the damn news. Everybody was talking about it. I just feel like Donald Trump is more concerned with people feeling like, oh my God, look at what he did. Look at what Donald Trump is responsible for. The U.S., they are taking care of the war between a years-long beef between Iran and Israel, instead of worrying about what's going on in this country. There's so many issues going on. Why aren't those issues being addressed? Why are we worrying about what the hell going on in the Middle East? I don't get it.
Most of
I don't understand. And he's talking about our soldiers' legs been blown up, ours been. Yeah, but why are you sending them over there to insert our soldiers into shit that ain't got nothing to do with them? Shit, man, your goddamn business. Israel ain't saying nothing to us. Shit, Iran ain't saying nothing. Mind your damn business. Damn, take care of
Them can
home.
be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do.
You see what I'm saying? I hate to keep stopping, but do you see what I'm saying? He's in competition. He's in competition. He wants to be the biggest. Y'all know that song, the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. That's what he want to be. It's a pissing competition.
What took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Man, get your old ass out of here. I cannot. He gets on my nerve. Lord have mercy. I will never understand how this criminal got back in office, you guys. I don't understand it. If you got a felony, you can't even, I don't even think you could damn drive Uber. But in the United States, you can be the president. That doesn't make sense.
Donald Trump there declaring Iran's nuclear facilities obliterated, accompanied by the Secretary of State, the Vice President, and
I'm disgusted. There's so many people. I have a brother in the military. My brother's in the Air Force. There's so many people who have family that are in the military, and so we take it. Not saying that everybody else doesn't, but we take it very personal when things like this happen, because we don't know if our brothers or our fathers or husbands or whoever it is going to have to fight this war that really does. That has nothing to do with us. You're on here talking about how Iran, our soldiers are in danger. No, you're putting our soldiers in danger. Why can't they use their why can't they use their resources to do things to help the communities? Why is it that soldiers are only preserved and waiting for something like this to happen? Why can't they put these people out on the streets of some of these inner cities and regulate some of the violence that goes on right here in our inner cities? I just don't understand that. The U.S. is at war with themselves, but you worried about what's going on in the damn Middle East. It's all about money. It's all about money and connections. Talking about I love you, God. Boy, shut up. Okay, we about to get off of this. Okay, we talked about that enough. I keep y'all updated as things happen. As you heard him say, he said if Iran does not bring peace, if they do not cease the as he calls them, the bully of the Middle East, if they do not stop what it is they're doing, the United States is going to continue to do what they got to do, to attack. So we will see what happens moving forward. Let me take this off the screen. We're going to get into our entertainment news. Terry, none of them are. Candy Kisser said, "Who are they, Terry?" Yeah, it's all about power. I said, like, to me, in my opinion, it's a pissing contest. That's what it is. Gloria said, "My family is in the military." Lisa said, "Good night, up and down." Good night, Lisa. Carmel said, "If your name is Donald Trump, you can get away with anything." That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know what that means. All right, let's pull this up, y'all. It seemed like every time I turn around, somebody, there is somebody. Hold on, let me pull this up. Where is it? Being sued for some sort of essay or something like. I gotta say this, y'all, and I'm not trying to make this into like a racial issue, But I gotta call it like I see it. I gotta call it like I see it. Why does it seem like the only celebrities or influential people um you know it's only like celebrities and influential people, it seems like, that are black, where out of nowhere this stuff starts popping up, about SA or RICO charges, and I'm just wondering, you know why that is. Are there not any Caucasian people that are it's just back to back to back to back to back to back. And then when it does happen, it's almost like it disappears. Okay. I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there was a situation where the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm gonna actually look up the article for you guys just to read it down. And we know that Abercrombie and Fitch is a white company, okay, white CEOs, and they basically their target audience is white. But there was a SA claim and a criminal charge and a lawsuit going on between several models for Abercrombie and Fitch and the CEO. Now it seems like I heard about that, but then it just went away. Never heard about it again. I don't. I think he paid a bond, was let out to await trial. Nobody's talking about it, but it seems like every time there's a black influential person or celebrity or something like that, it gets publicized. I'm still trying to keep up with the Diddy trial. It's just so much going on that I'm watching at the same time. So it's just every time I turn around, it's somebody new. Right now, it's and Fat Joe and Tyler Perry. Um, is this really you, Miss White, or is this like a troll? Um, but in this case, he was definitely trying to show out and be in a one-man pissing contest. Him not informing Congress first was a sure sign. Facts. Miss White, you done changed your name again. You done changed your name again. Let's get into what's going on with Fat Joe. Okay, so for those of you guys don't know, Fat Joe was accused of coercion, intimidation, sex with minors in ex-hype man's lawsuit. So it says here on the LATimes.com, Terrence T.A. Dixon, once a hype man to rapper Fat Joe, has sued his former employer for $20 million, making some allegations that might blend right in with Sean P. Diddy Combs' RICO and SEX trafficking trial. The federal lawsuit filed Thursday in U.S. District Court in the Southern District of New York and reviewed by the Times alleges that the rapper underpaid Dixon, cut him out of promised pay for contributing to album tracks, defrauded authorities about his income, ditched Dixon in foreign countries about without money or transportation home, and is running a criminal organization built on intimidation and violence. The lawsuit alleges that Fat Joe forced the hype man, T.A. Dixon, a sort of backing vocalist who pumps up the audience, into approximately 4,000, listen to this, y'all, 4,000 SEX acts with women in front of him and his crew. The 54-year-old rapper, born Joseph Antonio Cartagena, is also accused of having uh, relations with girls who were 15 and 16. The allegations go back to when the rapper was in his late 30s, the lawsuit says. Fat Joe's song "She's My Mama" which has graphic sex lyrics, was based on what is alleged to have happened with him and one of the girls in real life, the lawsuit says. The lawsuit states that, hold on one second, y'all. I'm going to keep reading in a second. Give me 1 second. Well, I'm not going to say black, Terry. I'll just say urban, not Caucasian. I'll say that. Okay. Um, the lawsuit states that Dixon's role over about 16. Did I read that? The lawsuit states that Dixon's role over about 16 years was more than that of the usual hype man. He consistently had duties that included co-writing lyrics, structuring hooks, recording background vocals, performing at more than 200 live shows at Fat Joe's primary onstage counterpart, and managing travel logistics, including equipment transport, security, and emergency arrangements. The complaint alleges that Dixon also acted as Joe's bodyguard and handler during tours. According to the filing, Dixon wrote or co-wrote tracks including "Congratulations," "Money Over Bees," "Ice Cream," "Cupcake," "Blackout," "Dirty Diana," "Okay, Okay, No Problems," a version of "All the Way Up," 300 Brolic, "All I Do Is Win," "Red Cafe," "Winding on Me," "Coco Baby," and "Get It for Life." The complaint alleges that Dixon was not properly paid for his efforts, even though he says he was promised certain ownership percentages and documented credit on songs that Fat Joe released commercially. Dixon, who left Fat Joe's team in 2020, was unable to obtain certain evidence of wrongdoing until a person named as Accountant Doe came forward last year with information, the lawsuit states. Fat Joe exercised sole control over contracts, budgets, tour management, licensing, and credit attribution, and intentionally omitted plaintiff's name from linear notes, publishing registrations, and royalty structures, despite plaintiff's direct contributions to the work's creative and commercial success, the complaint says. I'm gonna stop it right there. I want to say something. So earlier on in the article, it says that the former hype man T.A. Dixon is suing Fat Joe for $20 million. And one of the complaints is that he was forced to participate in inappropriate or plexual, I call it plexual acts with underage girls between the ages or not or it didn't say underage women, it said with women in front of Fat Joe and his crew. So my question is, at what point did you say, okay, I don't want to do this? It's so hard for me to believe that you sat there 4,000 plus times and did something and didn't enjoy it. So, these celebrities have to be very careful with who they connect themselves with, because what it is do I believe that these celebrities use their power, influence, and money to get people to do things that they probably would not otherwise be doing? Yes, I do think that, because people abuse their power all the time. We see that here on social media. People abuse their influence, they abuse their power, they abuse their followers, and they use people to do what it is they want them to do because of their power or their influence. So it takes a very humble person to not do that when they have a damn near endless resources and all of this money. So it happens for sure. But what I will say is the person that's actually doing it and being manipulated or being bribed to do things that they would not otherwise be doing, they also bear a responsibility at a certain point to say, no, this is not something that I want to be doing. This is not something that I'm comfortable with. If you're going to, not pay me anymore, if you're going to withhold funds, if I'm going to be kicked out of your camp or whatever it is that you're going to do, then that's just what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take that loss. But you, in my opinion, cannot do something 4,000 times that you did not want to do and then turn around and sue somebody and say that you were forced to do it. I mean, you have to take some responsibility at some point. One time, okay. Twice, okay. 3 times, okay. Now, at the 4th time, I'm going to start questioning, were you actually enjoying this? Were you enjoying all of these sexual, escapades that you were doing and performing. And there's this, and I don't know what this weird shit is going on in Hollywood with voyeurism, but what is it with these celebrities? Because now this is the third time that I've heard of a celebrity forcing an employee, so-called forcing an employee to be doing these acts in front of people, or to be doing things while the celebrity is sitting back watching. What kind of perverted shit is that? Because I think that P. Diddy was also, that's also something that was mentioned in court, that he enjoyed watching Cassie. And there was an interview that was conducted by Cameron. Y'all know Cameron from Dipset, where he interviewed one of the escorts, and the escorts was just talking about how, you know, P. Diddy would literally sit in there and just be watching. And for a long time, he didn't even know that it was P. Diddy, because P. Diddy would be wearing one of those veil over his face. And then eventually, after so long, he took it off and he saw who he was, you know, working for. But I don't know. I find that to be, you know, kind of weird. Like the whole voyeurism thing. Like, what is that about? Gloria Dent said it doesn't pay for blacks to become rich. They will have it taken in the end. I'm telling you, I'm talking about celebrities who did shit. Yeah, I was blown away once Bill Cosby got was charged and convicted. I said everybody is on the table at this point. They ain't sparing nobody, because I think Bill Cosby went to prison. He was like 80 something, right? He was half blind. But let's get back to this article. So it says Joe Tacopina, an attorney for Fat Joe, called the lawsuit a blatant attack of retaliation and labeled the allegations complete fabrications that his client denies in a statement in Variety. Retaliation referred to the slander lawsuit that the rapper filed against Dixon in April, after the former hype man accused him of social media of flying a 16-year-old across state lines for sex. Okay, so basically what Fat Joe's attorney is saying is that you know, Fat Joe is being sued by Dixon, and all of these claims that are being made is in retaliation, because basically Fat Joe put him on blast on social media, saying that he's a pervert his damn self and flew a teenager across state lines for sex. So this is retaliation, according to Fat Joe's attorney. Now, Dixon's attorney, who is the hype man, Dixon's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, is also representing producer Lil Rodney Jones, in his $30 million federal lawsuit filed last year against Sean P. Diddy Combs and others in Combs' orbit, in which Lil Rod alleged sexual harassment and SA. Judge tossed out a majority of Lil Rod's allegations against Combs in March. Both, real quick, do y'all think that, I'm on this off topic somewhat, but I feel like P. Diddy is going to walk. I do. I don't think he's going, I think that he may face, I think he's going to walk on that RICO charge for sure. Okay, so that ends the article. Okay, so that's what's going on with Fat Joe right now. And I do want to get into the text messages with Tyler Perry, y'all. Let's get into the text messages with Tyler Perry. Let me go up a little bit. Hold on. Let's see. And Tyler Perry actually put a video on, let's see. Tyler Perry put a video on, I want to say it was Instagram. Let's see. Let's see if I could find it. No, it wasn't Instagram, but he posted a video. I wish I could find it, but I couldn't find it when I was looking for it earlier. But basically, the video said that he wants everybody to be calm. And I'm like, what you want us to be calm for? You the one that's being sued for $260 million. $260 million. That is more money than my mind. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. What is this? Oh, okay. Somebody just sent me something. I'll look. Okay. I think okay, I could talk about that. Okay. Thank you for sending me that. But let's get into some of these text messages that Tyler Perry that was provided in this lawsuit that is active against Tyler Perry, okay, being a creep with one of his actors on the Oval. Okay, let me get rid of this. Oh, and for those of y'all that don't know, let me pull up his picture. So this is the guy here. Where is it at? Where are we? Where are we? Okay. This is on Associated Press, y'all. So this is the guy here. Well, no, that's not it. Where is it? I want to find a picture of Derek Dixon. Here it is. I'm gonna pull this down. I'm not gonna read this article. So this is the actor here who is suing Tyler Perry for $260 million. I'm not. I just don't understand when these black celebrities are going to start. I ain't even gonna say black celebrities. When are these celebrities going to start realizing that a lot of times when people are engaging in a conversation, texting back and forth, calling back, relationships, sometimes these people have a ulterior motive. And the one thing, a lot of people say, ooh, I would love to be famous. I would love to have that type of money. I would love that type of attention and exposure. But I think that one of the things that celebrities probably really struggle with is knowing who's genuine, knowing who really, wants them for them. Who's really talking to me, communicating with me, or building a relationship with me because they genuinely like who I am. I don't know. I would feel like if I was a celebrity and I had as much money as Tyler Perry, it would always be in the back of my mind like, man, does this person really like me for me? Do they really want to be my friend because they like me as a person? Or do they want to be connected to me because of what I can do for them? Because of the money that I have, because of the opportunity that I can provide. And so I think a lot of these celebrities really have to be careful because, I'm Derek Dixon. I did look at a little bit of his work on, I believe it's, what is it called, y'all? IMDb or IMBD or whatever it's called, where they have a list of the things that they've done throughout their career. And he's a fairly new actor. Like he hasn't done much work. I think he's probably been in like two TV shows, two movies. So nothing big. So he worked with it on I believe it was a show called Ruthless, and then there was another show that was called The Oval that Tyler Perry produced. Okay, so let's get into exactly what this lawsuit is about that Derek Dixon is filing against Tyler Perry. Let's see. So it says here on Associated Press, an actor who worked on the Tyler Perry created television drama The Oval has filed a lawsuit alleging Tyler Perry leveraged his industry power to repeatedly SA and harass him while keeping him quiet. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court by actor Derek Dixon, who appeared on 85 episodes of the BET series, seeks at least $260 million in damages. Mr. Perry, y'all, I'm okay. All right, let me keep going before I give my opinion. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, actual exploitative dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sex harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation, the lawsuit says. The lawsuit was filed Friday and first reported Tuesday by TMZ. Tyler Perry's attorney, Matthew Boyd, said the allegations are false. This is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting him up and as a scam, Boyd said in a statement on Tuesday. But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fall. The lawsuit says that Perry first noticed Dixon in 2019 when Dixon was a part of an event staff at a Perry party and later offered an audition. Dixon would first appear in a small role on the Perry series Ruthless before getting into a bigger role on the political drama The Oval. Perry soon began sending unwanted, actual text messages to Dixon, according to the lawsuit, which includes screenshots of several of them. What's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? One of the messages says. The lawsuit says Perry offered Dixon an increasingly prominent role on the show as his sex advances became more aggressive. The actor says he tried to remain friendly while maintaining boundaries. Dixon did his best to tiptoe around Mr. Perry's sex aggression while keeping on Perry's good side, the lawsuit says. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage in actual innuendos, Dixon's character would die. Okay, so that's important. So now I'm going to read through the text messages with you all because he's basically saying, now, in my opinion, remember what I said earlier about the Fat Joe situation, right? I want to know if y'all feel like that's a crime. Do y'all feel like that? Is it wrong? Yes, it's most definitely wrong to use your power and influence and basically put someone's livelihood and lifestyle at risk and threaten them with losing all of that if they do not engage in certain activities with you. It is absolutely wrong morally. But what I want to know is, how do y'all feel about that? Because if somebody told me that if I was an actress and there was this huge producer and writer that had hired me for a role and I'm getting paid all of this money, and they said, if you do not engage in these acts with me, you are going to lose the role and I'm going to kill off your character. I feel, and this is my personal feeling, I would say we'll kill him off then. There is a certain responsibility that you also have, and that is to make decisions based on your moral compass. Is the money that important that you would sacrifice what you believe and what you do and don't want to do? Or would you engage in, acts with someone even though you don't want to do it because they're threatening to take away your money? Are they wrong? Yes. But you also have to have some sort of standard where you're like, another role will come. So, I have to throw that in there. Like, you also have some responsibility when it comes to that. You have to say no. Technically, nobody's making you do anything. What you're doing is you're making a decision and you're saying, hey, I'm making all of this money on this TV show. I can't have this taken away from me. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. We're going to, Candy Kisses, I'm going to get into that when I read the text messages. Raquel said, I'm with you on that. What's going on, Deborah? Carmel Cutie say, I wouldn't care what you threaten. I'm not giving no one me Lucky Charms if I don't want to. Exactly. You know what I mean? So let's continue on with the article. But I feel like that definitely needs to be said. Like, okay, he said that he's going to kill off your character. Is he wrong? Absolutely. Disgusting. He is what he is, actually. However, don't you have the responsibility to say no? But I don't know. Now, if he did RAPE him, then if he's saying that he RAPE'd him, then that would be a forcible. You forced yourself on him, and in that case, he could not prevent it. So if any of that did happen, candy kisses, because I see you asked that, then I guess that would mean, this we're those are apples and oranges. Now, if somebody forces you to do it, then that's something different. So I think, okay, so let's see. Okay, so it says here, the lawsuit says Perry eventually SA'd Dixon on multiple occasions, including an instance where he forcibly pulled off Dixon's clothing, roped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself onto Dixon. Dixon clearly told Perry no, but was initially ignored until he was able to de-escalate the situation and change the subject, according to the lawsuit. The following day, Perry apologized and told Dixon he would work with Dixon on a TV pilot Dixon was seeking to produce. Dixon later received a raise, and the lawsuit suggests was a part of an attempt to keep him quiet. He said the fear of his character dying kept him quiet as intended. So he's admitting here that he did keep quiet. And I'm not trying to, if these, let me put this, I also want to say this. Everything is alleged, okay? But what I will say is he's saying here that he did do certain things because he didn't want to lose the income. He didn't want to lose the money. So, but let's continue. And I think that it's a little bit more pressure on the actor's part or inside in that field. So it's not like a regular job. So I'm gonna just use McDonald's. Say you're working at McDonald's, right? And your boss is being, I remember one time, I encourage people to speak up for themselves. I remember one time I was working at a grocery store, and I was like, it was the summer before I went off to college, and I was working at this grocery store around my house for the summer. And there was this guy, he was, I don't know what he was. He was like he would bag groceries and stuff like that or whatever and stock, but he was inappropriate with all of the girls on the job. Like, he just made me so sick. Like, it made me so sick. And I was so glad that my mom raised me the way that she did. She raised me to be strong. She raised me not to, allow any man to disrespect me or to make me feel uncomfortable. My mom raised me to always say something if I was uncomfortable. And even though at that time, I was 18 years old, that was instilled in me. So one of the things, he would do little stuff to where you couldn't really say it was SA, I guess, but it was clearly making you uncomfortable. Like, one time he was bagging the groceries and I was scanning the groceries or whatever, and he kept calling me baby. And I was like, my name is Brittany. And he looked at me like, damn, okay. And I'm like, shit, you damn nothing. That's my name. Don't call me baby. I don't even know you. But anyway, there was one time, because I was 18 years old, I couldn't scan liquor. So if anybody came in a line with alcohol, I would have to have somebody scan it for me. And I used to hate to see this nigga coming. So he would be bagging for me, and anytime he seen liquor, he would scan it for me. But instead of allowing me to move out of the way so that he could scan the liquor and I could move to the side while he did it, he would literally see like a beer bottle coming up the belt, and he would come behind me and grab the liquor while I'm still standing there and get very inappropriately close to me from behind, to where I could feel him behind me, if you know what I'm saying. And he would grab the liquor and scan it over my head, and then and he did it once, and I didn't say anything because I thought that people would think that I was being dramatic. But then because that's what happened when I told him not to call me baby. But then he did it again. And the second time he did it, I was so grossed out and I was so disgusted and I felt so uncomfortable that I spazzed out on him right there in front of the customer. I said, I forget his damn name. I said, don't ever come up behind me. If you want to scan the liquor, then you wait till I move out the way. I mean, I went off on him, and people was looking at me, but but see, at the time, because I was 18, I was like, because I'm like, I done went off on him, and he's friends with the boss, and maybe I'm overreacting, maybe he didn't mean it that way. But as I've gotten older, I understood like a man knows what he's doing. And if a man is being respectful, they would never, ever get up that close to you from behind. So he definitely knew what he was doing. But guess what? Even though, moving forward, him and a couple of his buddies that was baggers at that store was looking at me like something like I was a bitch. And the boss was, oh, that Brittany, she a problem. Oh, she a pistol. Like I got that type of reputation because I did not like what he did, and I voiced my opinion about it. But one of the good things is I didn't get fired. That's number one. And then number two, I only worked there for the summer anyway. But then number two, he never did it again. He never did it again. Anytime I needed liquor scan, he was bagging for me, somebody else would come do it. He didn't even wait to say, oh, let her move out the way so I can scan it. He just didn't scan it for me. Yeah, bitch. Don't you ever in your life get that close to me from behind again, nigga. The fuck? Like, the fuck? Like, that was some freaky, nasty shit. And, like, he used to do that to all, I'm getting all off topic, but he used to do that to all of the girls at the store, and they would just be like, laughing at us. Shit ain't funny. That nigga a creep. And he was way older than us, too. Way older than us. But anyway, let me get back on topic. But yeah. Anyway, so the point that I was making was, it's easier, I guess, to stand up for yourself on a smaller scale job because you ain't really paying me nothing anyway. I can just go get another job. But when you're working in Hollywood and you know how difficult it is to get an acting role. So you're working in Hollywood and somebody it says, oh, well, if you don't do this, then I'm going to kill off your character and I'll never give you another chance to work with me, especially somebody as influential as Tyler Perry. You already know that he's friends with all the other producers. He got all of these different connections, and he definitely has the ability to blackball your ass. Like, now you can't work in no movies. Now you're going to have to go do something. Now that as a new actor, I have ruined my chances in the industry because now nobody wants to work with me because I spoke up for myself. So it is harder to, I guess, take a stand in Hollywood versus what you on a damn little small scale job. So I get it. I definitely get it. But whether or not, all of this stuff happened, it will come out in the wash. But it goes on to say, Perry also produced and bought the rights to the pilot called Losing It, but the lawsuit alleges Perry had no intention of selling the show and was using it only as leverage over Dixon. The lawsuit describes several other assaults, including one where Dixon was staying in a guest room of Perry's house when Perry climbed into. Why are you at this? See, let me finish reading it. Hold on. Of Perry's house when Perry climbed into bed with him uninvited and began groping him, the lawsuit alleges. So the question I have is, this dude has already SA'd you because the first time he started removing your clothing, right? He started removing your clothing without you, giving him any innuendos or that you wanted it. And so he assaulted you once. And so you kind of let that go and he apologized, but then he did it again. But this time you're actually at his house. Why would I be at a person's house that has SA'd me in the past? See, these are the questions that are going to be asked in court. Carmel Cutie said that is nasty and invasion of your personal space. It was definitely nasty. To this day, if I ever saw him, that shit would piss, I would still be mad at his ass. I did not like that at all. At all. At all. And I was 18 years old. That he was like, he looked, I don't know how old he was, but he had to be like 40 something. Terry said, Carmel Cutie, some people with money could hire security to invite soon-to-be victims over, then pin them down on a bed or whatever, and breadwinner force themselves onto the victim. I get what you're saying, Terry. Basically, hire people to do their dirty work. So it goes on to say Dixon would eventually move from Atlanta home from Atlanta home to Perry's production studio to Los Angeles to put distance between the two of them. Dixon in 2024 filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, And when that didn't result in any action from the show's producers, he quit. And then if anybody knows anything about the EEOC, you have to be so, I mean, listen, I understand that it's a resource that you can use if, something goes wrong on a job. So basically, before you can file like a lawsuit against your employer, the first thing that you probably want to go do is file a complaint with the EEOC. And after you file a complaint with the EEOC, they'll then get back to you and let you know whether or not you have a case. Now, you can still file suit against your job, but if you have that letter from the EEOC saying, hey, you do have a case here, then you have leverage in that case against your employer. But the thing about the EEOC is that oftentimes they will let your employer know that they have a case against them. And oftentimes that causes retaliation against that person. So a lot of times people don't go through the EEOC because even if they are looking to eventually quit that job or leave the job during the duration that they're there, they could be retaliated against. Now, in the same token, the EEOC does offer, after you make that complaint, it does offer some protection, because if you are fired or written up, or if anything happens to you while you have an ongoing situation with your employer and the EEOC, it will almost 99.9% be looked at as retaliation. And that will definitely work in your favor. So oftentimes, if an employee has filed a claim with the EEOC, the employer will leave them alone. Because if they don't leave them alone, it'll look like they're retaliating against them. Candy Kisses says, yes, I lost a case with them and it was a good complaint. It's hard to win. Yeah. Yes, it's part of their investigation. Yep. The Associated Press does not typically name people who say they have been essayed unless they come forward publicly, as Dixon has. The Oval is one of many television series executive produced by, written by, and directed by the 55-year-old Perry, who first became known as a creator and star of the Medea films and has since built a major production empire in TV and movies. As an actor, he has also appeared in films called Gone Girl and Don't Look Up. Do y'all remember, what was the, damn, I'm going to try to find it. If y'all know, drop it in the chat. There was an actor who worked with Tyler Perry, black guy, light-skinned black dude. I can't remember his name, but he came out and made a statement that there was a powerful black producer in Hollywood that had been inappropriate with him, that was basically using his power to blackmail him. I can't remember the name, but the guy's name, I wish I could, but it was a black actor and nobody knew who he was talking about, and he never actually named the producer. And it was, if y'all can remember this guy's name, put it in the chat. I cannot remember his name for nothing, but there was a lot of rumors going on that the producer that he was talking about was Tyler Perry. That's his name. Thank you, Sadie. Hold on, let me. I just got too excited because I just thought of that. Like, for some reason, that just popped into my head, and I'm like, was he talking about Tyler Perry? Because now I'm wondering. Hold on, let me see. Did he ever say who he was talking about? Let me play this real quick, because I don't feel like he ever said it was Tyler Perry, but it was a lot of people that remember. It was a lot of people that remember. Not remember, but it was a lot of people that was assuming. I'm trying to find my tab. That's why my words getting screwed up. So I'm trying to figure out. Here you go. I think I did a video on this a long time ago. I might have deleted it. When was this? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see when this was. What year this happened in. I'm about to pull up Christian Keys before I pull up these text messages, because I want to hear if the things that he said that Tyler Perry did, I'm not Tyler Perry, I'm sorry, that this powerful black man in Hollywood did to him, if it mirrors any of the things that Derek Dixon is saying. Because you know what, sometimes, you know, what I said before still stands. I still believe that, you know, you do have a choice. You know, now if somebody is just forcibly SAing you, that's one thing. But if somebody say they're gonna kill off your character in a TV show, that I don't feel that that's an excuse to allow somebody to take advantage of your body because they're threatening your job. Fucking quit and then do a lawsuit. But for these situations with the Derek Dixon, who afterwards you were at Tyler Perry's home, you said he got into bed with you. You wouldn't have had the opportunity to get into bed with you if you wasn't at his house. He had just, according to you, essayed you before that. And then you have the situation with Fat Joe and the hype man that's suing him and saying that he was forced, and I use that word loosely, to participate in acts with women over 4,000 times. How does this happen 4,000 times? You know, so, you know, I'm not saying that it's their fault, but what I'm saying is you have to be strong when you're in that type of environment or field. You're in Hollywood, you're an actor, you know, people are going to be throwing you different things left and right that you really don't feel comfortable with. You have to have some standards. You have to have some things that you will say no to. So we don't know. Tyler Perry could be a creep, but let's play a little bit of what Christian Keys was saying, and let's see if it sounds like a little bit of what Derek Dixon was saying. Let's see.
Let me cut the TV down. It don't need to be this loud. What's going on, y'all? I want to talk to you about some stuff. And it's been on my heart, so I want to speak on it. All right. Good evening. Hope everybody's doing amazing. I've been speaking to my brother about making a declaration of my experience. What I experienced with certain powers that be that were moving inappropriately. And I really, like, it's in my bone marrow to discuss that, because thankfully God built me the way that he built me, but I'm not sure, you know, based on this person's claims and brags, that he's literally got, at the same time this person was sexually harassing me for years. He was claiming, you know, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. And clearly that's why it felt to him that it was okay to say these things. And I want to have these discussions. I want to be transparent with y'all about that. I've done my best to forgive this person, but it happens. It happens. It's not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes. And it'll be men tempting men. And that's why a lot of my posts over the last few years have been about taking the scenic route, you know, taking the long way around, because if that means that you can carry your integrity with you, then, and it's 11:11. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for another opportunity to connect with you. Please forgive my sins, my shortcomings, my bad decisions, and my mistakes. Please continue to guide. 5. Whether it's a keychain recorder, this and he does that, yeah, but he also does this and that. At some point soon, it's gonna have to come out.
I think I was on mute, but I was saying thank you, Candy Kisses. I appreciate you. My first super sticker of the night. Hey, hey, hey. I think I was on mute. I was talking.
I've kept one of these on me since 05. Whether it's a keychain recorder or a pen, because most predators would check your phone. And
take this off mute. So basically, he's saying that he recorded whoever this person was with a hidden camera. So he would carry a pen with a camera in it or a keychain with a camera.
Once the sexual harassment started, I was like, well, I got to protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because sexual harassment is a crime.
I want to know if, now let's, hypothetically speaking, he's talking about Tyler Perry. I believe that if he is talking about Tyler Perry, that we will never see a lawsuit against Tyler Perry from Christian Keys. And the reason that I say that is because I believe that this video that he did was a direct threat to Tyler Perry. I don't believe that he did this video because he wanted to bring awareness to anything, because as you can see, he's not naming anyone in the video. But Christian Keys knows that whoever this powerful man in Hollywood is knows what he did to him. So hypothetically speaking, if he is talking about Tyler Perry saw this video, and Christian Keys knows that Tyler Perry will see this video. And what Christian Keys is basically saying is, I have evidence of what you did. So it's possible that him and Tyler Perry could have worked something out on the back end to where he was paid under the table to keep quiet. Because I don't see any other reason why he would come out and make this video other than this is basically, in layman's terms, me saying, I got you on camera. So whatever it is that I'm going to ask for after this video, you better give it to me.
Attempted sexual assault is a felony. And Tams, you literally just asked, why do we as Black people have to deal with that? But sometimes
Thank you, I'm chosen.
sometimes it's our own people. Sometimes it's our own heroes. Sometimes it's the very people we deify, and we look up like, oh, they're doing so much. No, they're also doing this. And my only reservation about naming the people you know, there was directors along the way like, hey, you know.
You know what? I do. I do. I think that, here's the thing, right? If he's talking about Tyler Perry in this particular video, and he still works for Tyler Perry, I think that something may have been worked out on the back end. There could have been, okay, I'll give you this amount of money under the table. You will always have a job. It could be that. I'll always give you an opportunity. It could be that. If somebody knows that you have them on video making doing sex harassment or whatever, and that you have the ability to always take them. See, if it was Tyler Perry, if you listen to what Christian Keys just said, he in so many words is saying that you know, a lot of these black or not black, but a lot of these powerful people in Hollywood dangle money over your head. So basically, if Christian Keys is still working with Tyler Perry, and Tyler Perry is, you know, the one that he's talking about in this video, he didn't do anything except for switch. He switched the paradigm. He switched the power. He took the power from Tyler Perry and gave it to himself. Now Tyler Perry doesn't have any power. So if he's talking about Tyler Perry, Christian Keys has the power in that situation. So of course he would still work with him. As a matter of fact, if Christian Keys can never find a job with anybody else, Tyler Perry better hire him. Tyler Perry better give him a job, because look at what he has on him. He'll always have a job if Tyler Perry is who he's talking about here.
You know, you read for this, that, and the other. You want to come back up to the apartment? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You got my headshot, my resume, and I'm good. You know if I can handle that or not. You know I can kill that, but I'm not. I don't need to come up to your apartment. We already had the audition. There's other people that I want to say everything, and my brother was like, nah, not yet. I want to tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. I want to speak on it. And the good news is that they don't even have to believe me. Hopefully they would, but even if they don't, they can hear this person. Since sexual harassment started, I've carried many recorder devices on me, keychains, pens, thumb drives with a charged battery that get 6, 7, 8 hours, all the above. So I have the conversations. I really want to air that shit out, because it bothers me when I'm alone at night. Like, man, the world is celebrating this person and they don't even know the shady and predatory way in which this person moves, and the way that, you know, predators resent the prey that gets away. So when you don't say yes, when you don't say, okay, I'll acquiesce and, you know, sign up and literally and figuratively play ball, because we're not doing that, they resent you. This is a conversation we're going to have, and we're going to have soon, because it bothers me in my spirit that I can forgive people. That's one thing. But yeah, P, we don't play ball. That's my brother in there. And he knows the real deal. He knows the who. I'm good. Somebody said, you don't look okay. I'm okay. I have peace. I'm literally strategically planning my next 8 moves. I'm good. God got me.
And that's what he's doing. He being very strategic in this video. This video is not for his this video was not for his fans. It was not for anybody. This video in my opinion, he's directly talking to whoever SA'd him. This is right here a form of blackmail, really. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Whoever had SA'd him or tried to force him to do things that he was uncomfortable with really deserves it. However, this is a power move that he's doing. He's letting you know publicly, whoever he's talking to, that I have you, I got you, and you're on camera, you're on recording, and if I want to air this shit out, I can. So now whoever he's talking about is going to comply with whatever it is that he's asking for, whether it be money, a role, or whatever. Christian Key's forever good in Hollywood after
Because he was watching when I was offered these opportunities and I didn't say yes. I didn't sell my soul or my ass. Excuse my French, y'all. I know some of y'all, hopefully y'all don't have no kids around, but I didn't sell nothing for success. It's like, nah, that's not what I want. You know, I ain't into that. I ain't into dudes. I got an only beard in the bed policy. Mine is the only beard in the bed. Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. I don't get out like that. And these people kept on for years. Sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual assault is a felony. And where I'm at now is that in the middle of the night, I think about if I'm brave enough to name the person. I'll take a polygraph live. I'll take 5 polygraphs live. And I'll pass all of them because it's the truth. This person is a predator and he's one of several. And it's a shame, man. But I think it's time. It's to take my clothes off. Let them hear this individual. I wasn't working for him in the month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, I don't even need to touch you. I just want to see you naked. I declined. Because again, scenic group, I got my integrity with me. I'll take the long way around. But being that I wasn't working with him and we were in my apartment, he had visited my apartment to offer me a job of this fall because the lead of this particular project was going to do something else, so he needed another lead. I recorded it because I didn't trust him, and I had told him over and over, and he still always tried shit. Just tried shit. So if people don't believe me, they can hear him in his voice. I have always kept something on me. Always. Even if my phone is off. Something else is, if I'm around somebody that has tried to sexually harass me, pressure me, intimidate me into some nonsense, I've always kept something on me so I could protect myself, because if they're that powerful and they feel that entitled, then they can also try to get in the way of your work.
All these actors and actresses need to take note of what Christian Keys did. If you are, in Hollywood and you feel like you getting ready to work with somebody who might try you or try to force you into doing something that you don't want to do, and if you don't do those things, they threaten you with losing your job or whatever the case is, or blackballing you in the industry, you should carry something on you, a recording device, so that if you ever do need to sue them, you have clear evidence. So I think that that's really smart that he did that, and he understood, um, the power dynamic there and how it could affect his work moving forward. So I'm glad that he got the evidence against whoever he's talking about. I'm just thinking that he could have been talking about Tyler Perry.
I want to speak on it. I also want to keep making great things and creating jobs and opportunities. But, oh no, I got backups for the backups for the backups for the backups. I've watched way too many Jason Bourne movies not to have 15 backups. I can press play and you can hear the person and you'll know immediately who the person is that's offering me $100,000 to strip.
Wow. That's
You'll know right
disgusting.
away and it'll break your heart.
That's disgusting.
I won't have to say the person's name, but I can and I will. I don't mind doing a polygraph or 3 or 5 on live TV, and I'll pass all of them because it's the truth. This industry is something else. It's wonderful, and we get to chase our dreams, and we get to live other lives. I get to be a judge or an FBI agent. I get to be a girl dad. And some of the people that you think are your mentors are literally and figuratively just trying to fuck you.
I'm gonna stop it there because this video is about an hour long. If you guys want to see it, just type in Christian Keys essay, and this will pop up, or Christian Keys interviews, and this will pop up. This particular, let me pull this down. This particular video is on a YouTube channel called It's Only Entertainment. So that's where I found that at. I'm gonna get into reading Tyler Perry's text messages between him and Derek Dixon. But before I do that, I want to know that you guys see what's the dude's name? Y'all, I'm bad with names. What's the celebrity's name that played on the TV show Empire? I forget his name. He was like the lead. He played the lead role in Empire. He was. I can't remember his name, and that's crazy. He also played in. He played in a couple roles with Taraji. I can't think of his name, but recently he did an interview where he was talking about how he had certain interactions with P. Diddy. And at first, he thought the interactions that he was having with P. Diddy was strictly professional, and that they were just coaching each other, working together. But eventually, he caught on to, this guy is interested. Lucius, whatever, Lucius. What's Lucius' real name? I used to love me some Empire, and then I stopped watching it because I feel like it fell off. But he said that eventually he started to realize that P. Diddy was interested in him, like sexually, not Bashir, Terrence Howard. Yep, Terrence Howard. Bashir just had an incident recently too. Maybe I'll talk about that at a different time. But let me see if I can find this interview. Bashir just had a incident where he was arrested for, I think it was like a assault charge or something like that. Hold on, y'all. I want to see if I can find this interview. Okay, I found it. I'm gonna play this clip where Terrence Howard kind of just speaks on how P Diddy would invited him to be his acting coach. So he thought that this was a professional situation or professional relationship, but really P Diddy was interested in him, and it's so many, and no shade to the LGBTQ community, but isn't it strange how so many of these entertainers are closeted homosexuals? It's just so, like, what is that about? There's so many entertainers, and I think I just saw an interview where it was this guy. He wasn't a bodyguard for P Diddy, but he did security for a lot of the P Diddy parties, and he said about 90% of men in Hollywood are either gay or bisexual. And I said, is that because they get to a point where they have so much money they can get whatever woman that they want, and they get bored and they just start experimenting? But I don't know. I just that connection is interesting to me. Like that.
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh. Puffy invited me.
That is, I'm telling you, y'all, Hollywood is a dangerous place to be. It really is. It's a dangerous place to be if you're not strong. Only the strong survive. And then when you hear about all of these people getting addicted to drugs and doing all of this stuff, it's because they've been through so much. Like, damn, like, I really feel, and there's a lot, like, there's a whole like section on YouTube about the Illuminati and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily believe in all of that stuff. But what I do believe is you do have to make certain sacrifices to get where you need to be in the industry. When I say sacrifices, you need to sacrifice your morals, your values. What you say that you would never do, you end up doing it. You have to always have that in the back of your mind, that you had to do that in order to get where you want it to be. And I'm not saying that everybody does it, but it's a lot of celebrities that come out and say, that they've had to do A, B, and C to get to where they are, or that this person was inappropriate with them, or that this person tried to blackmail them. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what Terrence Howard said about P. Diddy. So we know it happens, y'all. We know that it happens. So let's get into these text messages, y'all. This is what we've been waiting on. I know I'm a few days late, but whatever. Better late than never. So these are the text messages between Derek Dixon. Oh, Derek Dixon and Tyler Perry that will be included in the $260 million lawsuit against Tyler Perry. Okay, so here Tyler Perry sends a picture of him, what it looks like, what is it, jet skiing, I guess. Derek says, nice picture. Yeah, the water looks calm. And so Tyler Perry says, nice picture. Let me see if I want to increase this. So Tyler Perry says, nice picture. He says, great, amazing, awesome picture. He says, then Tyler Perry says, you don't see the stud in that nice picture? Rude. First of all, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I would have felt uncomfortable with just that. Okay. So then, now remember, Tyler is in the gray and Derek is in the blue. So it says here, Derek says, I can call you later or tomorrow sometimes. Tyler says, you have a really fresh voice and take on things. I don't know where this is going, but I laughed the entire time. I could see the world and the characters. My exclusivity ends in 30 days. I want to take losing it. I want to take losing it out to Amazon or Netflix after that and gauge their interest. But I also want to try. So he's talking business here. But I also want to try and get you with the right people. So in this particular text message, I'm gonna keep reading it, but he's talking about a pilot that that Derek had written and gave to Tyler Perry so that Tyler could shop it around to different platform, well, not platforms, but to different streaming platforms, Amazon, Netflix. Okay. He then goes on to say, but I also want to try and get you with the right people to help you make these shows work. They are not for my audience, but we need to find a home for this stuff. I don't want to miss another creek. I don't know what that says because it's redacted. You know that Eugene bought that to me first, but I didn't get it. Amon gets here tomorrow, so he's got my full attention. I'll be trapped until the day after Christmas, so let's talk then. Is Amon his son? Because I know he has a son. But anyway, Derek goes on to say, wow, I was worried you'd even like it because it's a weird concept. Thank you. So he's saying he gave the pilot to Tyler. Tyler said it's not for his audience. But he's going to find the right person to shop it to. In this next text message, Derek says, right, we just had a heaping dose of it and now it's back to nothing. It's really weird. I don't know what that's referring to. But then Tyler goes on to say, I didn't have any contact. What are you talking about? I haven't been touched in months. And so then Derek says, oh, you mean touching? I thought you meant being around people. And then Tyler says, Jacob. I don't know who that is either. And then Derek says, I love that you only say that when I'm being stupid. I guess the Jacob's dumbass version of me. Is Jacob his character? But let's go to the next one. Tyler says, you know what I cook, Derek? Derek then says spaghetti and cake. He says you. Tyler then says you. I'm so drunk talking. I'm assuming that says SHIT, but it's redacted. Tyler says, what's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? Yes, it's the exact same kind of car, Geo Metro. So I don't know. Okay, so and then Derek goes on to say, giving up my religious guilt, becoming a Buddhist, that's so cool. Where you came from. Tyler says, unfortunately, Derek, I have friends who are in their 50s and 60s who are still dealing with that, and it's so sad. You can have freedom from religious guilt and still believe in Christ. Okay. And so then Tyler says here in this text message, nice, Santa Monica is nice. I'm glad you're going out there. How is your no? Is it stronger? You got to have a strong no. So I don't know what that means either. But then Derek says, yes, it's strong. My mom literally thinks I'm going to sell my soul to the Illuminati. She heard Kanye say that it was real. Tyler says, well, I don't think that, but I do think that you have to be able to say no and mean it and make it clear. It's interesting that they're having this type of conversation because isn't that referring kind of to the dynamic that Derek is saying that he had with Tyler, that Tyler would say things to kind of threaten his job or threaten his character on the show. So it's kind of interesting that Tyler is like coaching him on how to move in Hollywood when allegedly Tyler is really a perpetrator of SA against this person and using his power to SA him. So it's kind of weird they're having that conversation where he's like giving him this type of advice. I'm trying to understand that, but so then Derek goes on to say, I'll only say yes if it gets me an Oscar. Just kidding, I hear you. Okay, now why these text messages are being used as evidence in the case, I'm not sure, because it kind of incriminates Derek as well. He's saying just kidding, but he's also saying that he will agree to doing things that he don't want to do if it gets him an Oscar. Come on, like I don't understand. So then I'm still trying to understand the premise of these text messages because I don't see anything that Tyler necessarily said that was wrong. Maybe Derek could have felt uncomfortable about the comment about guiltless sex, but it seemed like the text messages are chopped in half and some of the context are taken is taken out because we're not seeing them a steady flow of the text messages. So give me. Okay, so let's see. Where did I leave off at? Well, the only one. Okay, so after he says that he'll say yes to certain things for an Oscar, Tyler then goes on to say, well, sorry, y'all. Tyler then goes on to say, well, the only one who could have gotten that for you through sex is in prison. So just stick to the no unless you are really into him. Who is he talking about? Is he talking about P. Diddy? But anyway, he then goes on to say, I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me. I hope you get past that block in your mind soon. So obviously, they have had a conversation about maybe celibacy, or maybe it could be that it seems like Derek might be struggling with his sexuality because Tyler said something about guilty sex, and then they started talking about religion. Or if he's not struggling with his sexuality, he could be very religious and he doesn't believe in, having sex outside of being married. That could be it as well. So I don't know. So Derek goes on to say, it's not this person, but yes, I want that too. I'm working on it. Therapy is helping. Um, Tyler says, why did that photo make me jealous? You two together. Oh Lord. Derek says, haha, I don't know. It's just Brad, LOL. Tyler says, LOL. Now, what I will say is this is completely unprofessional and inappropriate for your boss to be having a conversation with you about a picture, making him jealous that you took with someone else and you guys are not in a relationship. This is a working relationship. So this is completely unprofessional. And Derek definitely should have shut this down. I guess I understand why he didn't, because he was concerned about his career. But this is very much so unprofessional. And Tyler Perry should be ashamed of himself. I really, he really should, because for a man to have the position that he has and the power that he in no way, shape, or form should ever be having this type of conversation with an actor or an employee, because whether he wants to admit it or not, he knows that if somebody carries on this type of conversation with him, 9 times out of 10, they're only doing it because they're too afraid to say no. Tyler has been in Hollywood long enough to understand the power dynamic. So I think this is completely inappropriate. Period. It is, and so Derek goes on to say, oh, well, he just wanted to go for a quick walk to get his steps in, and now I'm walking to Chipotle by myself. So obviously he must have posted something on his social media. Then Tyler Perry says, thick Derek, get that Chipotle. This is too much. And so then Derek says, haha, can you tell that from that photo? Derek, I think that he is uncomfortable. I think Derek's uncomfortable, but it's hard for him to cut this situation out. Okay. Tyler says, no, I can't, only from your jeans. Derek says, haha, that's how I measure too. Now, what Tyler Perry could say is, well, hell, I couldn't tell that he wasn't into me because he was laughing. He was joking. He was talking back. But Tyler initially was initiating a lot of these inappropriate comments. And no, he did not send a text saying, hey, don't say that to me or whatever. But you have to understand why. So this would be interesting to see. Let me read through the rest of them. So in this text message, Tyler says, I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make. I think I read that one. I don't know why that's being posted again. Um, okay, I read that one. Uh, Derek says, "How do they make money then? Subscriptions?" Tyler says they make money from advertising, lots of money. I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being horny. Testosterone. This is completely inappropriate. I'm so mad with Tyler. Derek goes on to say, "Oh yeah, how old is Tyler?" Let me finish reading this. Tyler says, "Oh yeah, from the doctor, but is it making you feel better?" So you can tell Tyler is not trying to engage in like sexual talk with him. Like he tries to change the subject and stuff or whatever. But Tyler's being pretty persistent in where he wants the conversation to go. But I can tell that Derek is definitely trying to change the conversation, and it's weird that he keeps doing this. So I guess he got some sort of medicine or something that made him feel. But anyway, Tyler said, "I feel so good, but I don't." Okay, but I don't like. He keeps saying that I don't like feeling horny. I feel sorry for the first person that flirts with me. If he don't find him somebody and leave this young man alone. Now this says I believe this is Tyler here. He says, "Listen to me. If you let the cast know that you and I have a new friendship, then you are opening yourself up to a lot of questions and foolishness. You want them to know that you are there because of your talent and not because we have a friendship or because Tony got me to give you a job. You earn your spot like everyone else. Don't give people an opportunity to play you small or they will. I can't teach you everything. Unfortunately, there are some things that you'll have to learn for yourself. Because when we go back to work, I'm not going to know you. I don't have any friends that work for me, my friend. Professionalism is key." So, in so many words, he's telling him, "Hey, don't let anybody know that you and I have any sort of texting relationship or whatever the case is outside of us just working together." And he's trying to guise it in a way to where he's trying to make it seem like he's trying to help Derek. But what he's doing, in my opinion, in this message is he's trying to cover things. He's trying to make sure that he's covering himself. Very manipulative. Very manipulative. He's trying to cover himself here. He's wanting to say, Derek, you don't want to let people know this because then people will say you don't have talent. People will say that you are only given this role because of this and that and not because you're a great actor. But really he's doing this because he doesn't want to get in trouble from my lens. That's what it looks like to me. So then Derek responds and says, "You're totally right." Um, Tyler says, "I hope you got it, my friend." Derek says, that makes total sense." Tyler says, "Just watch the behavior of everyone around me on set." Derek then says, "Yeah, I will. Don't want to give anyone that opportunity because work is work." Um, in this particular messaging, Tyler says, "Treat myself right. What are you doing?" Derek, oh, this is getting weird. Derek, oh, this is getting weird. Derek says, "Just talking to my sister." And then Tyler says, "I roll, fine, good night. I'll go through the 600 people in my phone book and be annoyed that I don't want to talk to any of them." This is so weird. So inappropriate. So could you imagine somebody giving you a job and you feel like you have to have these conversations with them? This is so annoying. And so then Derek says, "Well, I'm trying to get off so I can go to sleep." Tyler says, "I understand, LOL." Derek says, "LOL, apparently you're not the only one that's been drinking tonight." And Tyler says, "I just started." And then Derek says, "They didn't, LOL." So that's the end of the text messages, y'all. What do y'all think? Personally, I feel like Tyler, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're using your power and your influence to force these young actors or this young actor to engage in conversation that he obviously was not comfortable with. From what I read, I'm not even going to say it seemed like. Derek, was obviously trying to change the subject every time Tyler said something inappropriate or said something sexual. He never gave him the energy that he wanted to have those conversations. So Tyler should really be ashamed of himself. Really, really, really should. I am disgusted and I am disappointed in Tyler Perry. Period, point blank. Let me read some of these comments. Come on now, right? Come on, Tyler. Come on now. Karma Cutie said, I don't understand why put yourself in a situation like this. Just come out and live your life as a gay man. Right. And you want to know what's so funny? The thing about it is, had this been someone else, I think his sexuality, Tyler Perry's sexuality would have been, or not Tyler Perry's, but had this been someone else, I think that person's sexuality would have been the topic for the most part. Like, oh my God, he's gay. But for Tyler Perry, people aren't even surprised about the fact that he is being accused of, trying to be inappropriate with a male actor. Because didn't everybody think Tyler Perry was gay anyway? Like, I'm not surprised by that at all. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he plays Medea or dresses like a woman, because there's a lot of male actors that have been out there dressing like women. You got, who do you have? Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence. I can't think of anybody else right now, but it's not like it's something that's, abnormal. But it's something about Tyler Perry, the way he definitely gives gay vibes. So nobody's shocked about that. Let me see. Yeah, and he has a son, right? He has a son. Raquel said grooming at his fight is $260 million is a lot of money. From those text messages, I don't know if he'll win the suit. But unless he has something where Tyler directly said that his character would be killed off, because that's what he's accusing him of. He's saying that his character was threatened. Tyler threatened to kill off his character. So that is bribery. So he maybe would have a leg to stand on in that case. But from the text messages that I saw, it just looked like Tyler was being very inappropriate. And, I don't know about him winning $260 million from that. But if anything, this definitely has damaged Tyler Perry's reputation for sure. For sure. Yeah, Martin. Raquel said his whole mannerism shows that he's a rich bitch. Right, definitely. It's just sad hearing this and seeing this, because Tyler Perry has, before he became famous, has dealt with homelessness, poverty and all types of stuff, and he really, really used his talents and gifts to pull himself out of that situation and make millions of dollars. He's one of the richest black men in Hollywood, and he did it with his own talent, his own pen and paper. And he started out writing those Medea plays. They became so popular that he took off and got into mainstream and started making movies. I mean, Tyler Perry kick out movies and TV shows like nobody's business. He is extremely talented, and it's so sad that he would do something like this. And I don't think, this is alleged and it's just my opinion, but I definitely don't think that this is the first actor that he's been inappropriate with. Now, again, I don't know who Christian Keys was talking about, but it sounded like he could be talking about Tyler Perry. So, and I don't think it'll ever come out who Christian Keys was talking about. But with situations like this, we've seen it time and time again. What happens is one person comes out and makes an accusation, and after that first person come out, you got 20 more folk coming out saying you did it to me too, you did it to me too. So is this or is this not the downfall of Tyler Perry? I ain't really concerned that much with Fat Joe, because shit, he ain't doing nothing now anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. But I want to see, is this the beginning of the end for Tyler Perry. If it is, that's extremely sad, because he worked so hard to get where he is, only to lose it because he can't control, potentially lose it because he can't control his urges. And because, see, if he were to come out of the closet and live his life as a black gay man out, and I mean, hey, you know, everybody out now, may as well come out. The fact that he's doing this because he's hiding it. He doesn't want anyone to know about it. He's a closeted black homosexual man. He doesn't want anybody to know about it. So he has to, you know, satisfy his urges. And one of the ways that he does that is, and still able to keep it a secret, is by manipulating his employees, because he knows that because he's paying them that they won't say anything. And so he's literally using his employees as a resource so that he can stay closeted. And that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So I am, like I said, very much so saddened by all of this, because I like Tyler Perry to a certain extent. I do get kind of tired of the same old struggling black woman narrative, but he does have other things that he has created that have really become, you know, staples in the black community, which is really an accomplishment. I mean, come on, who hasn't seen Diary of a Mad Black Woman? Who hasn't seen Why Did I Get Married? Those are classics, you know. So it's a shame that this is happening to his empire, because he want to stay closeted and don't want to come out and let everybody know that he's gay. So he's using these people as really as tools to satisfy his wants and needs. So, you know, all of these black gay men in Hollywood need to just go ahead, come out the closet, and stop using their talent to satisfy their freaky fetishes so that nobody finds out about it. Just come out the closet already, you know. Definitely predatory behavior. Southern Girl says, all is set up for the black man. Southern Girl says he did it with help. With help? With the help of white. Well, that's possible too. Yeah. Carmel Cutie said, I think so, especially when he said, if you hear his voice, you'll definitely know who it is. That's part that stuck out to me too, because Tyler Perry does have a very distinctive, you know, voice. But thank you guys for supporting this live stream. Thank you everybody that contributed monetarily. If you did not, that's fine. Thank you for your view. Make sure that before you leave out of here, because it's getting late, I'm getting ready to get off, y'all. Make sure before you guys get out of here that you hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It was wonderful kicking it with y'all tonight. I'll be back soon with a new story. I did get an inbox from one of my supporters. She sent me a story that she wants me to talk about. So I am going to look at that and see what it's about. It's a story of a woman in Chicago. And I'll get into it. Maybe I'll cover it tomorrow. Depends if I have time to look it over tonight and tomorrow morning. If so, I'll come live again. Because I probably am not going to be going out tomorrow. Y'all, I don't know if I got any Chicago folks in here, but child, it was 93 degrees today in Chicago. My people run around talking about this barbecue weather. No, it's not. It's stay in the house with the AC weather. That's too hot for me. And I think tomorrow's going to be 90 something. And Monday is going to be like 90 something. I don't like that type of weather. You know, I don't. I just do not. Maybe it's because I'm not accustomed to it, but it's really, really hot here in Chicago. So knowing me, I'm probably going to stay in the house under this AC. Ain't no way I'm going to be out in that type of damn heat. So, all right, y'all. Thank you for participating in the live, sharing your perspective in the chat, and I will see you guys soon. All right, y'all. Peace.